In 1999, the Wisconsin DNR began testing white-tailed deer for chronic wasting disease.
2 years later, the state got its first positive case. In the years since, hunters have been encouraged to get their deer tested for free by dropping them off at one of the 175 kiosks. But what happens after? Well, I got the chance to go inside the state's DNR processing center in Poynette to find out. And just a little warning, if you are squeamish, you might want to step away for the next couple of minutes.
The way things happen here is hunter submits their head out in the field, and all of the heads, all of the lymph tissue, if it's pulled in the field or if a hunter decides to self-sample it themselves, every single one of those deer that is getting tested for CWD comes through our facility. Over the next 2 weeks, I anticipate we'll do somewhere in the neighborhood of about 10,000 deer through here. First thing we do with them is we get an age on them, so that age data, a lot of hunters just want to know how old their deer is, so we provide that to them with their result. And then the next step in the process, when you drop your head off, you fill out one of these data forms, and then we use that information, especially your DNR customer ID, we use that to connect your deer to you. After the deer is checked in, comes over here to our samplers. They're pulling the lymph nodes primarily out of the throat. That's the tissue that we need the most. It's pretty good if we've got somebody that's doing, 15 heads or so per hour. On our best days, we can probably do somewhere in the neighborhood of 500 to 700 per day. So next week we'll have about 15 people here at a time. So what Riley is doing here is he is diving down into that head. The lymph nodes that we're looking for sit on each side of the throat. So in order to extract them, we have to cut the head open a little bit and sort of peel things open, and the lymph nodes are laying right inside. Each one of those lymph nodes is pulled out. We cut them in half, and we put half of each into 2 bags like this. There's a barcode number on each one of these, so that is what connects this deer to the hunter that killed it. And then one of these copies we save here in our archive, and then the other copy goes to the lab in Madison, Wisconsin Veterinary Diagnostics Lab, and they actually do the testing, and then we get the results back and we send those out to the hunter. Come here. We get heads from every county of the state. So this is our deep freeze archive, and we have, obviously we keep a copy of every deer that we will do this year, but we actually have samples in here from the very first deer that were tested for CWD in Wisconsin. So we've got samples in here that are over 20 years old. It gives you peace of mind that you are feeding good, healthy Wisconsin corn-raised, acorn-raised deer to your family without any kind of a concern that there's a disease that no human has ever gotten it, but there is a potential that someday somebody could get it. So we're providing that test as, if nothing else, peace of mind to the hunter.
At most, it should take 2 weeks to get your results back. If your deer does test positive, the DNR will give you a replacement authorization for the same type of deer and land type. That's added to your account 2 days after the result, and it can be used for the remainder of the season or the next season.
What an interesting place.
It really was. I'd never, thought about what happened, and I was curious.
The most interesting thing to you was what that you learned?
I think it was just the process of what they were doing and the quantity, and it was quite shocking to see all those deer heads, but they came from somewhere.
Yeah. I liked how systematic they were and how organized. I mean, it's like
clean.
Yeah,
it was so clean in there, and I didn't even get into the sanitation process. All the bleaching and things like that. But maybe that was it.
You came back blood free on your tennis shoes.
Yeah, it was very clean. Yes, that would probably be the most surprising.